Did the Georgian government rig the election or is the EU unfairly targeting them? Why did massive protests erupt in Tbilisi? And what does it have to do with foreign influence? And if elections controversies happen in the EU too, why is Georgia being treated differently? I would like to give you an update on topic we have already discussed, Georgia, and its election process as well as the involvement of the EU in it. We previously talked about the primary parliamentary elections that took place in October and the protests that followed at the end of November in Georgia. The protests started shortly before the presidential elections and were called by the Georgian president at the time, Mrs. Salome Zurabishvili. To summarize briefly, the main cause of the protest was the belief that the ruling party, Georgia Dream, had rigged the elections, making the results invalid. Protesters accused the government of Mr. Ikelaki Kobakadze of being pro-Russian. In response, Kobakadze claimed that a so-called global war party was trying to use Georgia to provoke a conflict with Russia. To counter foreign influence, he introduced a law requiring any organization that receives more than 20% of its annual funding from abroad to be labeled as an organization pursuing the interests of a foreign power. Some have described this law as unlawful and undemocratic. Since then, during the December elections, Mrs. Salome Tsubekhiri lost her position to Mikhail Kavalashvili. At the end of December, Tsubekhiri stated that she did not accept the results, claiming that the elections had been rigged. Protests continue. And we see videos from Tbilisi showing streets filled with people carrying not only Georgian flags but also EU, German, and even US flags. Despite that, the fact the US is not exactly viewed favorably in some circles anymore. On February 13, 2025, the European Parliament passed a resolution stating that EU does not recognize Mikhail Kavalashvili as the legitimate president of Georgia. Even Wikipedia is divided on the issue, listing both Kavalashvili and Tsubekhiri as presidents. Although the October elections were approved by OSCE, some commentators claim that such situations do not occur in EU member states and what happened in Georgia was a disgrace. As if EU countries are flawless when it comes to elections, but is that really the case? Let's take a look at my motherland, Poland, which became an EU member in 2004. In the 2014 local elections, serious issues across with the National Electoral Commission's PKW system. The Platforma Wyborcza 2.0, please don't misjudge it with Platforma Obywatelska Party. So the Platforma Wyborcza 2.0 system was developed by the company Nabino. Failed pre-elections test. An audit revealed multiple irregularities. Despite this, on November 14th, 2014, the deputy director of the National Electoral Office, Romuald D., recommended using the system. As a result, it failed during the night of vote counting on November 16 and 17th. Although officials claimed on November 18th that the system was fully operational, electoral commissions continued to report problems. Errors also appeared in the announced elections results. On November 22, the Regional Electoral Commission in Katowice had to correct a protocol that initially showed an inflated number of valid votes by over 132,000. Similar corrections were made in at least 4 other provinces in the following weeks. That same day, during PKW press conference, incorrect seat allocation and invalid vote percentages were announced. The final published result also contained inaccuracies that were never officially correct. And I repeat, they were never officially correct. The situation led to widespread protests. On November 20th, a demonstration called Stop Election Manipulations were organized by Nowa Prawica, the National Movement, and Solidarny 2010. Some protesters even entered the PKB headquarters, forcing the commission to halt its work. police intervened, detaining 12 people, including journalists. The Helsinki Foundation for Human Rights criticized the police's actions, but a prosecutor's investigation into alleged misconduct was dropped in 2015. The day after, on November 21st, PKB chairman Stefan Jaworski and 6 of the remaining 8 judges resigned, leading to an almost complete reshuffling of the commission. In the following weeks, 1,985 elections protests were submitted to the courts, far more than in previous years. In some locations, court ordered a revote. In November 2015, prosecutors charged Romuald D. with negligence, accusing him of causing significant damage by undermining public trust in the PKB and vote counting process. He did not plead guilty. Public debate over the election included allegation of fraud, the high percentage of invalid votes, the expectedly strong result of the Polish People's Party, PSL, as discrepancies with exit polls sparked controversy. A Muller-Brown poll from November 25th found that 25% of the respondents believed the election had been manipulated. The Law and Justice Party attempted to shorten the term of regional assemblies to March 2015, but initially failed. In response to these irregularities, the election monitoring movement was formed to provide independent oversight in future elections. Several legislative initiatives aimed at reforming the electoral code were introduced. Ultimately, Parliament passed a presidential proposal introducing transparent ballot boxes, recording of Commission's activities, stricter control of invalid votes, and term limits for PKB members. These changes took effect in 2015. Despite all these issues, the EU did not condemn the election's result or question the legitimacy of the elected officials in Poland, even though there were widespread calls for new elections. So why is the EU now so strongly opposed to Georgian Dream and Kabalashvili? I am skeptical of all politicians, but I can understand why George Dream leader Mr. Kobkhadze wants transparency in NGO and media funding. While researching this topic, I came across media organizations that are clearly founded by foreign sources. Before making a longer video about this, I want to verify whether they received more than 20% of their funding from abroad. If you are from Georgia, could you help me to find financial statement or NGOs in your country? Is there a website where this information is available? Please be kind enough to post a link below or send me a direct message. Thank you. So if you find value in this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Please like if you like it or unlike if you don't. And if you have thoughts to share, drop a comment below. I am uploading stories like this every Sunday at 7 p.m. Turkish time, so I hope we meet again. But for now, thank you for watching till the end, and as always, stay informed, stay engaged, and remember, knowledge is the key.